Hi, this is an instructional video on how to build the new DM4 twin goat milking machine. Once you've unpacked it from the box, these should be all of the parts that you require for the assembly. So let's begin. We're going to start with the handle, and it attaches to the frame. Let's just turn that around so you can see a bit better. Just spin it in clockwise. Make sure it's nice and tight, and that's going to help you be able to move your machine around. But let's turn it to the front now so you can see this part. Next, we're going to work on the lids. You've got 2 lids and each of them has 3 holes. We're going to start with the flotation device. This goes underneath the lid, and that's there so that no milk is sucked back into the pump. Should your second bucket fill all the way to the top, this flotation device will rise and cut the vacuum, making sure that you don't get milk in your pump because it's very difficult to clean out. To attach this, I've boiled some water and just placed it in a cup, just like so. You want to just dunk the rubber into that boiling water and it just softens it up a little. That'll make it easier for the rubber to attach to the lids. Give it a little shake. Now, push it onto the bottom of one of the nodules, just like so. And then that lid goes on the right. Push it down. The other lid goes onto the left. That's my right and left, not yours. Next, we're going to work with the pulsator. The pulsator has 3 parts, this rubber part, the plastic part, and then the pulsator itself. First, you're going to put the rubber part onto one of the nodules, making sure that you don't put it onto the one with the flotation device. Next, the plastic part. Make sure they're on there nice and tight. Then your pulsator. Sometimes you got to push it down with 2 hands. Next, we're going to attach the vacuum hose. Again, into the boiling water. Just to soften that rubber up a little. Make sure there's no water left in the hose. And then you attach the vacuum hose to the other nodule where the pulsator is. That's going to pressurize and give you vacuum in both tanks. Next, you've got a connecting hose. This is going to connect the 2 tanks, again, into the water. Now, this hose goes onto one tank and the other end goes onto the nodule where you had that flotation device. Next, you've got your 2 cups. Now, you've got 4 hoses here. You've got 2 fat ones and 2 skinny ones. Your fat ones first, these are your milk hoses. Into the water. Little shake. Now one of these goes on to each of the last 2 nodules that you have. One in there. And one on there, leaving you with your 2 pulsation hoses left. You want to just turn that pulsator around, and one of these goes on each of these pulsation connectors. Make sure that everything's on nice and firm, all of your rubber hoses, and that way you'll get a good vacuum seal. Now you've got 2 sets of cups. And finally, you want to put on your pressure gauge. I'm just going to turn this around so that you can see. Get rid of that water, we don't need that anymore. Now the pressure gauge goes on here above your vacuum tank next to your pressure screw. It's a little tricky to get on, but a little bit of force. Now we're ready to turn on the machine. Hold your cups up. The switch is just underneath the vacuum tank. You hear your pulsator starting to work and your pressure's going up. Now you want your pressure on 0.04. If it's too high or too low, this pressure screw here, you simply turn it to the left or to the right, adjusting that pressure to where you need it to be. That's sitting just above 0.4. We're just going to wind that anti-clockwise to bring it down just a little bit. There you go, that's where you want it. Now you're ready to milk. Once your goat's teats go onto the cups, go into the cups, you'll see them starting to pulsate. Oops, sorry. There we go. Both of them on there. And you'll see that squeezing, that's your pulsation. You want that running at about 90 beats per minute. If it's too fast or if it's too slow, you have an adjuster screw here on the back of the pulsator. Just turn it up or down as you need to. Good idea to have a stopwatch just to make sure. With the goat machine you can see that pulsating. When you're finished, you can turn this tap here. That will cut your vacuum off to your goats and allow your cups to come off. Just turn that off. Now your milk is going to fill into this first bucket, and then once that's full, it's going to overflow into your second bucket. When you finish milking, you can remove the lids and the buckets come out like so. Then you'll have these are transportation lids. Pop them on, put your clips on, nice and tight, and then your milk is ready to take anywhere you need to. So that's how to assemble a DM4 twin goat milking machine. I hope you have a lot of fun with it, and I hope it makes your job a lot easier. Have a nice day and happy milking.